What's up, guys? This video series will document my 2026 world record unsupported paramotor adventure that followed the Missouri River from where it meets the Gulf in Louisiana up to its headwaters in Three Forks, Montana, and beyond. I saw some amazing sights along the 3,400-mile journey, including the St. Louis Arch, the Big Belt Mountains, and Mount Rushmore, just to name a few. So come along with me as I cover this amazing experience. After throwing all of my paramotor gear in a one-way rental car, I drove down to where this journey begins, in Houma, Louisiana. Unfortunately, this is the weather that greeted me. It wasn't going to stop all day, so I left my things at the airport, walked to a nearby restaurant for dinner, and spent the night at a hotel next door.
Let's do this!
The next morning, the weather wasn't looking much better. The forecast said it was going to start raining before sunrise, so I couldn't waste any time getting off the ground.
Houma traffic, ultralight powered paraglider taking off from the apex ramp, departing to the north at 200 AGL. Houma traffic.
This is a high-stakes launch. I was heavy with 145 pounds on my back. The ground and my wing were wet, and I could see the rain approaching. I knew that if I blew this launch or delayed even 5 minutes, the rain would hit and I wouldn't be able to take off and start my adventure.
Let's go. And we're off. Hallelujah! You know what? At least the air is smooth. Yeah, that storm is what I'm trying to avoid. I'm actually in a little bit of moisture right now, so I'm going to accelerate, get out of this.
Once I was in the air, the stress wasn't over. The rain was rapidly catching up to me, so I trimmed out and made a mad dash to the north to escape the approaching storms, which I was thankfully able to do after a 30-minute sprint.
Alright, I am well clear now of the weather coming from that direction. I'm flying essentially sideways right now, and about to join the Mississippi for real this time. Hooray! Because of the strong wind pushing straight north, I'm going to have to get down low, I think, and follow the river. So I just got to make sure I maintain some decent landing outs. But the flight plan is try to get just northwest of Baton Rouge, and we'll see from there. Well, at my halfway fuel stop, and so far, I've been making really good time. I've either had a really good tailwind or the wing is just faster than I thought it would be. But I haven't been burning nearly as much fuel as I thought I would be. So at this point, I'm going to start working towards my further fuel stop that's 150 miles down the line. I just got to stay below 1,300 feet for the Baton Rouge Class Charlie airspace. We've been making really good time. I've been super proud so far. We'll keep pressing. Smells good. And this stuff is more broken than it looks. Yeah, that was a mistake. I'm just gonna stay high. I don't know what this is, but that is a massive smokestack. And a really sick bridge. Incredible. Alright, coming towards the end of the flight. I'm on my descent now into the gas station that I'm planning on stopping at. But using Google Earth, you can only tell so much looking at these things. So I've marked it up and said it might be possible. If not, I have a backup at an airport that'll have avgas. So we'll see what works. Some thick, moist air. That's for sure. It's amazing just how much warmer it gets. Yeah, no, it's probably doable, but it's tight. No reason not to go for the sure thing. Ooh, the air is warm and moist down here. Alright, let's do this.
It was a long flight, more than 5 hours covering 186 miles at an average speed of 35 miles per hour. There wasn't much time to rest though. I wanted to make as much progress north as I could while the weather was good to get ahead of the rain that was still following me. So I quickly filled up with aviation gas at the field and lined up for another launch.
And now I'm on my way. I shouldn't need to retune, since we're back to the same altitude. Or we're at essentially the same altitude we launched from. And I was really happy with that fuel economy. So this is a hot, so higher density altitude nil-winder. Nil wind is prevailing, but occasionally I get a couple miles an hour from a thermal, but it's not much. Oh, no. Don't do that now. Let's clip in first. Like we've learned. Then we'll do the bag. I have 0 indicators here to tell if there's a breeze or not. Hit it hard. Just a little something. Come on. All right, well, so be it. 3, 2, 1, see ya.
Okay. Alright, it's cooling off too. Alright, I'm gonna get headed north and climbed out, try to get to about 3,000 feet, and then I'll catch up with you guys then. Alright guys, checking in. Anywhere between 3,000 and 3,500 feet appears to be the sweet spot for me. Not really a great wind no matter what altitude I do, but higher appears to be slightly better. Now we're pretty much on our way. I don't have anything profound to say. I'm just going to turn this off. I thought the clouds were pretty, so I just wanted to capture them. Gorgeous. Just gorgeous, surfing the clouds. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. It's such an interesting boat. Just driving up this river against the flow. Wild. I think the theme of today is clouds. My goodness. Such gorgeous weather. The air is actually, it's interesting, the air is really warm around the cloud. Kind of nice. More clouds. All day. Clouds on clouds. Alright, so I've come across a wall of clouds, some of them a little bit convective, but most of them not. I can't really pick through them. It looks a little too thick for that. And so, judging from here, it seems like my best bet's going to be to go underneath them. So at least then I can tell if they're producing rain and avoid them, and I won't have to try to pick around them, which they're just too thick to do. That or I climb to 10 or 12,000 feet, wherever the tops of these are, and try to go over, but there's no good wind up there, and I'd spend a lot of fuel doing that. So I think the wiser plan here is just to go underneath, where I can visibly avoid the convective areas as well as rain. That's the plan. We'll see how it goes here. I'm already losing headwind. I've lost 7 miles an hour, just dropping down 600 feet. So once I'm on the other side of this, hopefully I can climb back up and catch it again if it's still a good tailwind. Alright, let's see how things look down here. Honestly, not too bad. I've lost my tailwind completely. Kind of sucks. I think I'm mostly out of it. The darkest stuff is behind me. I am actually curious what this nature preserve is here. The cloud deck was at 3,000 feet, was cloud-based, but now it's down to 1,500 feet. Really interesting for the weather phenomena here. But for now, I'm just going to fly under it and figure out what to do from there. Alright, we're getting out from underneath it, and I see blue sky again, so happy days. I'll climb up and see if I can get my tailwind back. Oh, wow. the sunlight. Oh, now I'm getting rained on even. All right. I think we're through the worst of it. I'll deal with this sprinkle, and then hopefully we can make it up to Clarksdale. Yeah, I thought I was out of it, but here we are in a pretty decent sprinkle here. I trimmed out to keep the wing inflated. Hoping I can just get out of this pretty quick. I won't pull trims in until I see the water has evaporated off of my goggles, which tells me that it's at least evaporated enough to come off the wing, hopefully. But for now, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to stay trimmed out. If it gets much heavier than this, I'll just have to land. Pretty big town, actually, for Mississippi. They've got a really nice airport. If these storms end up being in the way, I'll turn back around and come here. It would be a nice place to stay the evening. Yuck. Also yuck. That is heavy, whatever that is. I don't want nothing to do with it. But it is small. That one's big. Lighter. I'm just splitting the verticals between them. Directly under all of that is Clarksdale Airport, which is a place I can land. And I'm hoping that moves on. Or I can make it to Tunica, which would be fabulous. But it'd be a real stretch goal here. And I'm really going to need that wind to come in. This got a little wetter than I anticipated. But I think we're through it. This is the town of Clarksdale, Mississippi. I've got 5 liters of gas and 50 minutes to Tunica. I think I've got just enough to scratch by and make it with like a 2-liter reserve, which I'm comfortable with. But up at altitude, I'm now facing a headwind, so I have to make the rest of this journey down low to be able to make meaningful forward progress. And as I got lower, I'm actually making pretty good headway here at 32 miles an hour, which is more than enough to make it there in time before I run out of gas. My only concern flying this low is that if my engine dies for any reason, then not a whole lot of opportunity to find a landing out. So I'll just be putting it down wherever I happen to be. I need to find a wind indicator so I can have an idea of what the wind's doing. Anyway, it makes for much more enjoyable flying to be this low, actually, so that's a lot of fun. Tunica traffic, ultralight powered paraglider 4 miles to the south at 300 AGL, approaching from the south, intending to land on the ramp. Tunica traffic. Go ahead and bring you in. Fully switched up, yeah. Radio cable and radio are free. Okay. It's like an inch. Tunica traffic, ultralight power paraglider over the field to land on the ramp. Last call, Tunica traffic.
Perfect.
After another long, almost 6-hour flight covering 200 miles, I was ready to get some rest. I walked my gear over to the door of the FBO, which was thankfully unlocked, so I brought my stuff inside and got settled. Alright, just to catch you guys up, I landed here at the Tunica Air Center, and I'm kind of gotten myself established inside, but the entire airport terminal is a ghost town. There is nobody here. But I've kind of gotten the run of the place. There's a shower that I can use, so I'm going to take advantage of that. There's a crew car outside, but I haven't found the keys. And then there's a pilot's lounge here, which is where I'm going to be sleeping tonight. I pretty much just set up all my stuff, getting all the charging going and everything else. But still trying to figure out the crew car situation because the pumps are not self-serve and there's no one here to operate them. So more to follow, but we'll figure it out. In the meantime, I am exhausted and ready to crash. So hopefully I can get all that done and get some sleep tonight. Well, it turns out the FBO staff had misplaced the keys to the crew car, but they felt so bad they called in a favor with the airport's EMS crew, who hooked me up and drove me to the gas station in the back of their ambulance. After filling up my fuel bladders and picking up some Subway, they brought me back to the airport where I finally crashed on the couch just before midnight, ready to take on the next day before sunrise. This wraps up the first day, but there's a lot of adventure still to come, so stay tuned for the rest of the adventure in the next videos.